After 40, I started realizing that my sister locks, they weren't the only thing changing. My scalp was changing, my density was changing, and even a lot of the routines that I'd had for years, they had to change. And honestly, there are just some things I wish I'd understood earlier. My name is Joy, and this is what I believe women over 40 need to know about locks as our hair and our scalp change over the age of 40 and our lives change. Now, this video is based on my personal experience with sister locks, thinning, density issues, gray hair issues, CCCA, which is a form of alopecia, some of that too. And I'm not a dermatologist, so if you are noticing any significant changes, I do highly recommend seeking the guidance of a dermatologist, your primary care doctor, a professional, a medical professional who can really help you, especially one who understands textured hair and hair loss. But I do believe there are things that we can pay attention to because sometimes our locks look fine on the outside, but our scalp is really telling us that there's more that we need to look into. So let's talk about 10 things that can change your sister locks after the age of 40. Number one, your scalp may need more attention than your locks. We can become very focused. Are they neat? Are they full? Are they growing? How do they look? What styles am I going to do? Do they look like the locks we saw online? But healthy looking locks doesn't always tell us what's happening underneath. As we get older, there are a lot of different factors that can change what's taking place at the scalp level. You've got your hormones, dryness can be an issue, stress, medications, inflammation. Or you might be like me as you get older and discover that you have a form of alopecia. I don't know. Certain scalp conditions can definitely play a role. That doesn't mean that every change is serious, but it just means that we should not ignore what we see and what we notice happening. For me, especially since I have CCCA, I have to pay a whole lot more attention to what's going on with my scalp than I ever did before. I don't think I ever thought about my scalp before, to be honest with you. I notice tenderness, I notice changes in density, I notice when my scalp feels different from day to day, different from what I consider to be normal at this point. I always say I rely on my professionals, my loctician, my dermatologist, my primary care doctor, because they really do keep me together. Your locks, they're very important, but your scalp is really where the journey begins. Number two, do not automatically dismiss thinning as aging. And I've heard that a lot. When you get older, your hair gets thinner. Yes, but maybe, but you really need to pay attention. Yes, our hair can definitely change as we get older, but that does not mean that every change can be ignored or just explained away. Pay attention to things like a widening part, which is, for me, something that I've definitely had happen as I've gotten older. Pay attention to shorter locks around the crown area. Pay attention to that. Changes along the hairline, scalp tenderness, or even just a gradual loss in density that you may notice over time. Those changes may have different causes, and a dermatologist is the right person to help you figure out why. They'll help you figure out what's happening. Sometimes having smaller locks like sister locks can be a blessing as you get older because, even though I have lower density in my crown area, I have enough locks that I can kind of manipulate my parts. And a lot of times people can't really tell. People are surprised when I tell them that I have alopecia. And I'm not saying that every woman needs sister locks or a certain lock size, but I will share something personal. I have about 360 sister locks, and some people have told me that they think my sister locks are too big and that they don't qualify to be sister locks, I guess. But for me, that size was a blessing when my density started to become thinner in the top of my scalp. Since I didn't go with the smallest sister lock size that was available, I had more hair in each lock, and that has supported me during the past 5.5 years of my journey when I have had some density issues pop up, not just because of my CCCA, but also because of postpartum shedding that I experienced several years ago. I'm not saying 360 locks are right for everybody, but I'm saying that when we choose our lock size, we need to think beyond the look. at installation. We should also consider our density, our scalp, our hair history, and also what our needs may be over time. Number three, your old lock routine may stop working. A product that worked beautifully for you in your 20s, it might be too drying now. A shampoo that never bothered your scalp, suddenly it may feel irritating. A retightening schedule that used to be comfortable, it might start to become uncomfortable. And sometimes we'll just keep doing something because it worked in the past. But our hair can change, our scalp can change, while the product label will remain exactly the same. That means we have to really pay attention and make adjustments. I've had to learn that my routine, it does not serve nostalgia, it doesn't serve someone else's timeline, and it also doesn't serve what I used to think it was. It doesn't serve someone else's routine either. It's supposed to serve the hair and the scalp that I have today. And sometimes surrendering to the process can mean that an old routine is old and it needs to stay in the past. The fourth thing is that tight styles can become less forgiving. Ponytails, high buns, repeated tension in the same areas can put stress on your hair. And as your hair changes, as you get older, you may not tolerate those types of things the way you did when you were younger. The hairline, the temples, the crown can be especially sensitive to those types of changes. Sometimes a style can be beautiful, but it's asking for too much from our roots. And I've seen a lot of beautiful styles on social media. I would love to do a lot of those styles, but I know my scalp would be mad at me. So I just leave it at, that looks nice, and then I just let it go. And I'm not saying you can't never style your lock. And I love a beautiful style. I love a good look. Braid outs are my go-to. I love doing that. But I've learned that a style should not leave me in pain. It shouldn't leave my scalp so tender where I'm just wondering like, ooh, when can I take this down? If you feel that way, that's not good. A beautiful style is not worth ignoring discomfort. And if you're noticing repeated breakage or changes in your density, then again, you do need to discuss that with a professional. The fifth thing is that gray locks can behave differently. Gray hair may feel coarser, drier. Sometimes it can have a mind of its own. And I say that with love because gray hair can be absolutely stunning. And I'm on a gray hair journey. So since I stopped coloring my hair, I'm letting my gray hair come in. And I've always had a lot in my crown. I started going gray slowly when I was 9. But since I haven't been dyeing my hair this year, I'm just letting my gray hair come in. And so it's definitely been an experience. Sometimes the way gray hair feels may require a more gentle touch than what you experienced when your hair was in its original color. You might need to think about moisture differently. You might need to be careful with manipulation. You have to pay attention with how products interact with the hair that you have now. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about getting older, honestly. I'm 43 and I don't have to act like I have the same hair that I used to have. We're not required to act like our hair is exactly the same as it was when we were younger, when we were in our 20s. Our gray locks can tell the truth about where they are, and they tell the truth about where we are. They can be soft, they can be wild, they can be silver, they can be full of character, definitely memorable, and we don't have to fight every change. Sometimes we just have to learn how to care for it and adjust. If what I'm sharing resonates with you in any way, please do subscribe. This channel is about Sisterlocks, CCCA, confidence, beauty, and I'm especially focusing on women over 40 because I am a woman over 40. The full experience of navigating midlife as a woman. And if you're wearing locks over 40, I would love for you to leave a comment and let me know what changes surprised you the most. But let's keep going. The sixth thing is that lock length can become heavy. Long locks are beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I love my locks being longer, and I totally get why we all are kind of reaching for that milestone. But length can place additional stress on the roots, the crown, the hairline, and you start to feel it as they get longer. It's a different feel. Also, the temples. I'm not saying you have to cut your locks, because I ain't cutting mine unless my dermatologist tells me to. But I'm saying length is only one measure of success in a successful lock journey. Sometimes preserving your roots is more important than protecting every inch that you have. Sometimes you may need to change how you wear your hair. Look for ways to reduce tension. You may need to speak with your loctician about what your roots can comfortably support. Length is beautiful. Healthy density honestly matters more to me than holding on to every inch I've ever grown. Just because I worked hard to grow it doesn't mean that I can't cut it a little bit if I have to, and that's okay. The seventh thing is that hormonal changes can impact your hair. And I want to say this carefully because hair changes can happen for a variety of reasons. But as women move through perimenopause, menopause, and other seasons of life, differences in shedding, dryness, texture, density, or how their scalp feels can pop up. Stress can affect us, medications can impact us, health changes can affect us. So if your hair is behaving differently, it's worth paying attention to rather than immediately blaming yourself or your routine. And please just don't blanketly assume that every change is because you're getting older. That's where professional evaluation becomes very important. For me, having CCCA, which is a form of scarring alopecia, has taught me to be more observant. I don't want to panic over every change, but I won't ignore something that's important. Awareness helps us make better decisions. The eighth thing is that more product does not always equal more moisture. Sometimes we feel dryness, and our first thought is like, maybe I should add another oil, or maybe I should add another cream. And you're just piling all the stuff on top of your locks and your hair and your scalp. But more product does not automatically mean healthier hair. Sometimes that can create buildup, it can make the locks feel heavy. More products might irritate your scalp even more. And that can make it harder to understand what's working and what's not working. I've learned that a simple routine can be so much better than a crowded routine. Pay attention to how your scalp feels. Pay attention to how your locks respond. Pay attention to what your loctician and your dermatologist recommend for your situation. And be careful with the universal promises online. What moisturizes one person's hair might not be the right thing for the next person's locks and scalp. Your hair is not a laboratory, and you do not have to test every product that you see on social media. You're allowed to slow down, simplify, and observe. The ninth thing is that your maintenance schedule, it should serve your hair and not the calendar. We can get very attached to a specific number of weeks. And I know because I'm on a retire rotation, it works for me though. But your hair, it may not always need the same schedule. And that's something to think about. Your density could change, your lifestyle could change, your scalp could change. Your hair can respond differently to different situations and different seasons. That doesn't mean that you should make random changes on your own. That means that you need to have an honest conversation with your loctician about what's working right now. Are your roots feeling weak? Are you experiencing breakage? Are you noticing too much tension? Is your scalp uncomfortable? Those questions matter a whole lot more than just simply saying, it's 6 weeks and it's time. I've had to learn that my maintenance schedule is not just about keeping up with the rule. It's about taking care of the hair that's actually attached to my head. The 10th thing is that you do not have to wear your locks how younger creators do. You don't have to copy every style. You don't have to keep your locks extremely long if that doesn't work for your scalp and your personal lifestyle. You don't have to wear your hair in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable just because it looks beautiful on someone else. And you don't have to prove that you're still young by the way you wear your hair. For me, my lock journey has become so much more than a hairstyle. And I love me some good hairstyles when I was younger. So this is a big change in me. It's become connected to my identity, to confidence, to surrender, and learning to accept myself as I am, and give me a great way to show off my beautiful coarse hair because I love natural hair. I really, really love natural hair. The decisions that impact our hair are oftentimes so much bigger than hair, and I say that a lot because it's true. They can touch the way we see ourselves. They can touch our confidence. They can touch the way we enter a room. So your Sisterlocks, they don't have to look like anybody else's. They can reflect your life. They can reflect your comfort. They can reflect your season. And if your season requires you to change how you wear them, that doesn't mean that you failed. It means you're listening. If you're at the beginning or the middle of this journey, I hear you and I see you. And you're not alone because I've been right where you are. I'm still here, I'm still filming, and I'm still grateful. And I'm still learning how to care for the hair and the scalp that I have today. If this conversation helped you, please do subscribe. And leave me a comment with one thing you wish someone had told you before you started your lock journey. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.